GMGP, good morning, good people. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to wake up with us. You're sick. You're sick in the head. There's a lot of fantasy football shows out there, but I promise y'all, they not like us. Brock Bowers, you looked a little quicker than fast. What does that even mean? Redraft, dynasty, best ball, high stakes, we got you covered. And that's MVS and Justin Watson with some of the dopest tools designed to help you cancel out the noise and dominate your leagues. If there's a white wide receiver named Antoine, sign me up. Maybe it's cultural. I don't know. In season or off season, rain, sleet, hail, and snow, comma, semicolon, period, next sentence, to bring you the most actionable and entertaining content on YouTube. You don't go buy the dip on the Titanic.
Quarterback that you love, D-Bro. One of the best values in fantasy football.
Prop bets with my man JRich.
Is that yes! Let's go!
So wipe the crust out of your eye, get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake y'all asses up with Ray
and Jay
in the morning.
My God.
How good is
Dude.
he? It's the music. GMGP. It is Feel Good Friday, Freaky Friday, F Something Up Friday, Fantasy Football Friday over here on the channel. Y'all decided to wake y'all asses up with myself, my brother from another mother, JRich. We appreciate each and every eye, each and every ear in the building. And I see people already talking about the Cleveland Browns versus the Steelers game last night. Dope game. Nick Chubb already popping in the chat. What's good with you? Jimbo, Cole World, TDE. We got Taylor in the building. Alex, Hunter Joe Green, Weeze, Leo Scott, Jordan Baker. Couldn't constitute a 2.95 a carry as back. Talking about Nicholas Chubb. Leave Nick Chubb alone. Leave Nick Chubb alone. GMGP to you. Adam Zav, happy Friday, fam. Happy Friday to you. Appreciate everybody pulling up. You're new to the channel. It's your first time here. We talk football, college, NFL, rookie draft stuff, NBA. Lakers lost another one last night, JRich. We talk about it all. We have a damn good time with the people engaged in the chat. Comment below. Let us know what y'all think about this. This is a Friday show where it is all about you. AMA, questions, keep them going. We'll get through the news, talk through some stuff, and then we're going to answer all your questions, man. JRich, how you doing this morning, baby?
I'm good, Ray. I'm good. I am happy and I am grateful that the Lord has blessed me to do this show with you, Ray G.
Preach.
It's a beautiful day.
Grateful. You sound like Jameis right now. Are you blessed
it's a beautiful day.
to be here, baby? Are you blessed?
I am
and just
blessed
so thankful
to be here.
Streaming from Ontario, Canada, wherever the hell you live at. Me down
in my ergonomic chair.
Day.
Yeah.
Beautiful day. Thank you. Hit the thumbs up button, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. How you doing, Jay?
I'm good, man. It's a beautiful day.
I'm even for real. How you doing? You good?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. We had it's funny because when I watched that game last night, I don't remember who the Eagles were playing. But you have to remember that Shady McCoy game where he went off for like 170 rushing yards in the snow. It might have been against the Bills, actually.
He might have.
Whenever I see those snow,
he might have been on the Bills
like that.
He might. No, he's had multiple. Shady's had multiple snow games. Shady's had multiple snow games.
But it was the Eagles game that I remember most specifically. It actually might have been against the Lions. But whenever I see snow like that, it always takes me back to that game, watching Shady just go crazy in the snow back when he was on the Eagles.
Yeah, that was a fun. That was a game I bet on early in the week, Jay, under 40 points in that one. And it looked like I was cruising to a victory. That was an entertaining game, man. I really was digging that game last night. We got to talk about that game. But quickly, there were some people in the comments after Wednesday's show, because we said hit the music at the appropriate time. And then we stayed on for like another 20 minutes arguing and talking about Brock Bowers. And I saw people in the comments saying, I hope people did not turn the stream off thinking it was over, because it was a good conversation. So if you did and you missed out on that, Jay did post that back on the channel talking about who the rookie 101 is from 2024. We had a long debate. Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison. Check out that video. Check out that conversation and let us know what you think about that one. And then last night I did post one of my mock drafts. I dropped a mock. I'm going to be doing that every week. I dropped the mock prior to week 12 based on team needs going into week 12. Some dope landing spots, JRich. Ashton Genty, not a Dallas Cowboy, but boy, oh boy, if he lands on the Minnesota Vikings, watch the hell out. So make sure you check out that 2025 mock picks 1 through 32. Didn't do a lot of trading in the first one, but as we progress, we will do a lot of wild stuff. So make sure you check out all the content there. Jay, got quite a bit of news that we have to get to today. So I don't even want to play around, belabor the point, because we want to get back to the people and answer all the questions that they may have. So let's go ahead and run it. Straight facts. JRich, let's go.
The biggest news in the world of sports. Covered and brought to you by one man, Jordan Richards. This is Straight Facts.
Why does it keep coming? Jay, why does it keep coming to me? I was about to walk away and get some damn coffee, and here you go. Why does it keep doing that? Go.
So we do have some things to talk about, Ray, because it is Friday and there's a lot of news that breaks throughout the week. There's some sad things that have happened, some good things, but we will start with the injury news because it is the most important, especially for us for fantasy football. We talked a bit on Wednesday. Zamir White and Alexander Madison injuries still have yet to practice. So that is a big factor right now for both players, but more specifically Amir Abdullah and Dylan Lobby as the backup running backs for the Raiders. They are playing against a pretty formidable opponent in Denver, but if you need a running back, I believe there's 6 teams on bye this week. Lobby could be the answer. You know, a beat reporter did come out and say it's expected that he's a big part of the game plan, but if you actually read that report further, it doesn't sound like he's going to be a big part just relative to what he's been, which has been an absolute zero for every single game since he fumbled. George Kittle returned to practice, but the more concerning part is Brock Purdy. If you have Brock Purdy on your roster right now, you should probably already have Brandon Allen because it's reported on Wednesday, but it is definitely up in the air as to whether or not he's going to play this weekend. He's dealing with shoulder soreness, and we believed it was just kind of like a pain management thing, but then on Wednesday, he went out, only threw the ball a couple times on the side field, and then left with the trainers very shortly. Similar situation on Thursday where he didn't throw a lot, and it's very much up in the air whether he's going to play. Another small indicator as to what may be going on. Normally for the 49ers, the starting quarterback, addresses the media on Thursday. Nobody addressed the media on Thursday for the 49ers, at which point now we're going to see who addresses the media on Friday today, and we should have our answer as who's going to be starting, but I would definitely add Brandon Allen if you don't have him or you do have Brock Purdy. He's not the best quarterback, but he is a capable quarterback, and if you need a super flex starter, he's definitely not in the Mac Jones tier and may still throw the ball quite a bit. So if you do have Brock Purdy or any 49ers assets, you could be in big trouble this weekend if Brock Purdy doesn't start. Brandon Cooks returned to practice for the Cowboys, but he was only designated to return on Wednesday, so his 21-day window is open, and we're not necessarily sure if he's going to be playing this weekend on top of CeeDee Lamb, who also has been held out of practice so far this week. Friday will obviously be key for him as to whether or not he's going to play, and then Jake Ferguson not practicing as well with his concussion. Now, we did get Sam Laporta and Mike Evans back at practice and available to play this week, so that's good if you have them, but we could be without Devontae Smith, who's been held out of practice with a hamstring injury. So we know with hamstring injuries, they can definitely be more difficult, especially coming back kind of midweek. So Wednesday, he didn't practice. Yesterday, he didn't practice. So we'll see if he does today. But it seemed like it's trending more towards him not playing, at which one be a bump for A.J. Brown, Goddard, and maybe Dotson as well. But I wouldn't be starting Dotson overall. I just don't think it's a very good spot for him. And he hasn't been overly involved, even when either A.J. Brown or Smith have missed any time. It also seems there's potential for Isaiah Pacheco to return this week. He practiced all last week in limited fashion, but did not play. This week, they have the Panthers, so do they really need him? Not really, but it could be a good opportunity for them to get some reps with Pacheco, kind of reingratiate him back to the offense, because they do have 2 weeks. I believe it's the Panthers and I think the Raiders after that. So they kind of have a couple of bye weeks to get Pacheco healthy and back involved in the offense, but I do think we could see him on the field. Another one, Ray, a little bit sad for us. Marshawn Lloyd was placed on the NFI list with appendicitis. He was literally taken off of IR on Monday with his injury, designated to return, and now he has appendicitis, so he'll be out another 4 weeks. Tajay Spears still not practicing with his concussion. Do not expect him to play. It will be Bell Cow Pollard as I see it right now. DeAndre Swift popped on the injury report on Wednesday with a groin injury, but he did return in a limited fashion on Thursday, so he should be good to go, but groins, hamstrings are a little bit more difficult, especially as the weeks progress. You just hope they can continue to practice and are going to be available on Sunday. He should be fine, but just something to monitor in case you did have DeAndre Swift on your teams. And then another big piece of news, Ray, because we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks, is 5-star QB Julian Lewis committed to the Colorado Buffaloes and Deion Sanders. Does this mean that now Deion is for sure staying in Colorado? I don't know, but it's definitely a massive signing for the Buffs, for Dion, now that they're going to be losing Shedeur Sanders. He gave him the keys in the little photo that he dropped on Instagram, so that was really cool to see. But Julian Lewis has committed to Colorado as the new quarterback of the Colorado Buffaloes. And last but not least, and was kind of a sad story in my opinion, Daniel Jones said his farewell to the media and to the fans on Wednesday. And it was a great, little speech that he had, whether he wrote it, written up for him, whatever. It was very well written, very well stated. He took a lot of accountability for what has happened over the past few years for the Giants. But it's just sad, man. Like, this dude is literally running as the safety on the scout team. He's been demoted to fourth string quarterback after they signed Tim Boyle because the Giants are so scared of him getting in the game. They are demoting him beyond emergency status. So that's the reason why they signed Tim Boyle, is because that way Daniel Jones is not going to be the emergency quarterback should the first two get injured. And yeah, I don't think we honestly see him the rest of the season. I'd be pretty shocked if we did. And it just sucks because it does seem like, from everything we've seen from the players to even, I wouldn't say the coaches, but like the players and everything we've seen on the outside, he seems like a good guy, deserves a chance to play in the NFL, and he's done so dirty by the Giants this season. Really, really bad.
It's a business, man. It's a business. It's a dirty business. It's an unfortunate business. But what I say is, billionaires and 100 millionaires do not gain their wealth and continue to hold their wealth by being friendly and giving handouts. It's cutthroat, and that is what the NFL is. While we enjoy it as a game, it sucks, but I totally get it. He's been pretty damn bad since he got drafted. So feel bad, all that stuff. He'll land on a spot, be a backup bridge quarterback at some point. There you go, Giants. They'll be looking for a new quarterback in 2025. It's pretty much locked and loaded that that's the direction that they're going to go in. From all the other news, man, I think the big one for me is Tajay Spears. What a miss by us, man. What a freaking miss this season. We were very much in on Tajay Spears, and it doesn't even feel like he's played this year, Jay. I honestly don't know how many games he's played. He has been, thankfully, he's not as epic of a bust as Marvin Harrison was, drafting him in round one, a damn redraft, but it's still a wasted pick. He's been a 0 for you. I had him on a couple of FFPC main event teams, a bunch of underdog teams, just nothing. So that was a miss by us this season, and unfortunately, injuries. That's what happens.
I think he's had 3 concussions, man. 3
this season.
He only played Yeah.
He's had 3 concussions this season. No, man, no way.
He's had at least 2. He missed a game after September 30th for a week. That might have been I think that was actually the bye week. But then 10-13, he got hurt. He missed a month. Then he came back, played 2 games, and then got hurt again. So it's at least his second concussion, and he'll probably miss some time. Like, he missed almost a month last time with his concussion. So he'll probably miss some more time.
Bust. Bad pick by us. Let's talk Thursday Night Football. Jay, let's talk Thursday Night Football. Hey, the winning team, baby, the Browns. Should I throw the helmet on, the hat on, the Browns hat? The Browns got it done. The 2-7 Browns beat the 3rd seed in the AFC, Pittsburgh Steelers. And I heard a stat at the end of the game that they've beaten Pittsburgh 5 out of the last 6 times in Cleveland. So really? Mike Tomlin needs to figure out a way to get it done when they travel to Cleveland. But the Browns now improved to 3-8. The Steelers drop this is an important game because I believe
big game for them.
I think this was their first division game, and they've already dropped it. I'm almost positive.
No, they beat Baltimore last week.
Oh, yeah, they beat Baltimore. But they've got a lot of division games left, and this was one that they needed to win. You should not have lost to the Browns 24-19. Let's start with the winning side in the Cleveland Browns. Jameis Winston, Jay, kicked us off with an epic pregame speech in only Jameis Winston fashion. At that moment, I was like, either one or two things is going to happen. Either he's going to go out here and they're going to get their shit kicked in, or somehow Jameis Winston is going to have an epic victory. And it did not look like they were going to get the dub, especially when he threw it directly to one of the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 4th quarter. But he made it happen, JRich. The good Lord was behind him, and they powered the Cleveland Browns to a victory on November 21st, 2024 at whatever the field stadium is called. Jameis Winston gets it done, 219 yards, no passing touchdowns, but he did run one in. 1 interception. That was a brutal interception, just awful. Fumbled the ball, strip sack, but they got it done. Talk about Jameis Winston and how entertaining this former number 1 overall pick is, Jay.
Yeah, it's honestly hilarious to think that Jameis is actually a former number one overall pick.
Number one overall. Don't
just
get it. National champ, Heisman Trophy. He's a Heisman Trophy winning national champion, number one. He is that dude, football wise.
it's honestly ridiculous. Of all the number one picks, he's got to be one of the just more hilarious ones overall. Not because he's a massive bust, just
right. He's not
the
a
antics
bust.
Continues to deliver. But yeah, from the speech to the play.
I'm looking at the clips of him, Jay, in the locker room, and he's trying to, like, no one's paying him any attention. He is excited and trying to get people, and they're just walking around doing their stuff. It is an experience, we'll say that.
Oh, so good. So good. And it was his first game below 40-degree weather. People were talking about before the game, obviously, was played in Florida, then Florida State, so he's not playing in the cold. Tua only wishes he could play like Jameis Winston in the cold. But yeah, the rush was everything, right? That was what kind of propelled them to victory. And then, Jameis decided he was going to throw a pick and fumble the game away almost, or at least so we thought. They came back, they rallied. Pittsburgh, for whatever reason, their offense could not get going once again. They continue to move the ball to the red zone, and then once they get close or near it, it just all falls apart. Chris Boswell in the snow squall could not bail them out in this one, but we'll see, man. This is really bad because they had a 1.5 game. Oh, right, I'm echoing really bad here, but it was a 1.5 game lead on Baltimore that they had, and then so with this loss, if Baltimore can beat the Chargers, they will be right in the driver's seat to once again win the division, but they will have to win the second game against the Steelers.
Okay. All right. Well, let me go on mute. You're echoing. I don't hear you echo. Maybe it's on your end. Maybe it's through your mic. Let me see.
You wouldn't hear me echo.
I don't hear you echoing. You sound good to me. As long as the chat said catching some echo. Okay, I'll go on mute whenever you're talking. How's it sound now, chat? How we feeling now?
Well, you don't echo on my end.
I don't echo on your end? Okay, cool. Well, go on mute when I'm talking, and I'll go on mute when you're talking, and we'll avoid all echoing situations. Nick Chubb, 2 touchdowns, 20 carries, 59 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 catch in the game as well for a yard. People in the chat were talking about Nick Chubb is back. Listen, he got 20 carries, 2 touchdowns for fantasy. He got it done. It was hard to do anything on the ground. I mean, Jaylen Warren had some early runs before all the snow and sleet hit the ground. Hey, Nick Chubb's out there and he's able to carry 20 touches. So look, we'll see how he can progress throughout the rest of the season, and maybe that's what you're looking for, some touchdowns from Chubb as we move forward. Other side, pass catchers, Jerry Jeudy had a big catch towards the end of that game, 6 for 85 for Jeudy. Ced Tillman has gone cold, Jay. Hadn't been a lot from Ced Tillman. David Njoku, not much in the game either. What are your thoughts on the pass catchers moving forward for Cleveland?
I mean, this game's tough to judge anything, honestly, because it was the snow, it was the wind, it was poor conditions. Offense struggled on all fronts. You look at the leading receiver for the Steelers, Calvin Austin, right? You never expect that in any game. It's George Pickens, it's maybe Pat Freiermuth, but yeah, you just don't expect that. Mike Williams got no targets in this game. It was honestly just good to see Jerry Jeudy be this heavily involved and still produce, good enough for fantasy, right? In the game against the Steelers, in the snow, in the cold, you'd expect maybe 4 catches for 30 yards, 40 yards, and he had 6 on 6 targets for 85, which is more than good enough given the conditions. So I think, if anything, my takeaway is that Judy's still going to be a heavily involved, respectable fantasy asset you can probably start every week. Whether the team is winning or losing, they're always going to be throwing the ball with Jameis, and I think that Judy's only going to be a massive part of that. We saw that last week in New Orleans, and I think a game like this where he still produces shows he's probably going to be fantasy viable no matter what.
There's a comment in here about Jaylen Warren. I'm just watching the game, and the question was, make anything of Jaylen Warren getting most of the work before the snow hit? I mean, Najee was pretty bad. Did y'all watch the same game as me? I mean, he was. I don't want to. But Jaylen Warren, he was explosive. He finished 11 for 45. Najee had 16 for 41. It looked like they just couldn't get anything going. There was no push against the Cleveland front. Warren popped a couple early, but after that, there was just no running game at all. I thought Russell Wilson played really well, given the environment, given the fact that I think it was the 3rd play of the game. They bring Justin Fields in to do a run, and it was a false start, messed everything up. I thought he played really well. George Pickens, for what he was asked to do. Should have been a PI call on maybe a couple of those plays. Calvin Austin got in the end zone. And they continue to try to get Darnell Washington involved. I think that is one of the bigger things, literally and figuratively, that I am taking away from Pittsburgh is Arthur Smith loves two tight ends. Arthur Smith loves two tight ends. Darnell Washington is huge. I mean, he is a massive, and it's funny because he catches the ball, and I don't care who's around, he's going to truck the first defender. He is going to drop shoulder and helmet, run through him, and pick up 3 yards every time. 3-yard merchant right there. So Darnell Washington is somebody who is, would he be on your dynasty radar? Knowing that they paid for Pat Freiermuth in the offseason, so they gave him a deal. Are you mildly interested in Darnell Washington's increased usage over the past couple of weeks, Jay?
I'd say not really. I mean, if you got him, it's encouraging. But the upside probably just isn't really there in this offense. He'll have his games, and maybe in best ball he can catch a touchdown here or there. And I think that's where his value is going to be, right? Is potentially catching touchdowns in the red zone. Freiermuth's great at that as well. George Pickens, of course, is great at that. Cordell Patterson is not so great at that, especially with those goal line fades. The chat is all over Art Smith for calling that play. But yeah, I think it's just minimal involvement. It's good to see him involved because I think when you look at him, especially when he was drafted, like he was drafted to help fortify that offensive line and block in the running game while being able to do stuff in the passing game as well. He's not slow by any stretch, and I don't think anyone wants to tackle him, so they probably should use him, if I'm being honest.
I got my girl Joe on my side. Joe is here in the building. Joe said, I think he can be special. I'm holding him in Dynasty. Joe, we eye to eye, baby. We eye to eye. I'm holding him too, Jay. There's something... My whole sort of push for Washington in the draft process wasn't the fact that he was going to be this 100-catch guy. Wait until they start to use him in the red zone, man. Like, get him the ball in the red. Now, they tried last week and rushed through a damn pick trying to do that. But I'm holding in Dynasty. I'm with Joe. I'm not going to go as far as special, but I am holding. I am encouraged by Big Wash. I want me some Big Wash. Anything else from this game that you think we need to talk about? Fantasy relevant? Fields got
Calvin
to run the ball a little bit.
Right?
Who's that?
I think Calvin Austin is interesting. Again,
he is interesting.
Super interested? Not really, but I mean, at all off season, right? Who is everyone talking about from the Steelers? It was Roman Wilson, because Roman Wilson's going to come in and reinvent this offense and make a huge difference. And Calvin Austin was already there. He knows the offense. He's been involved in the offense, and he's slowly working his way to being that second option on the team. They weren't able to get another receiver other than Mike Williams, so the slot should be Calvin Austin's role, and maybe he can run with that for the rest of the season.
I think so for the rest of the season. I did, in the mock that I dropped, I did give Pittsburgh a wide receiver at pick 27, or wherever they were picking at, 26, 27. No, Luther Burden, I had him going to the Washington Commanders at 22. I had Isaiah Bond going to the Pittsburgh Steelers at 27 or 20, wherever they're picking. I think 27 in that mock. So, again, make sure you check that joint out. But I'm with you. Calvin Austin, it was that throw by Russ. Oh, my God, dude.
Great throw.
A dart. Just a freaking dart. All right. It's AMA time. We want to hear from y'all. Where are all the questions at? Your burning needs, desires. What do you want to know for week 12 of the NFL season, fantasy football, NFL draft, whatever y'all want to do, whatever y'all want to talk about, this show is for you. So we'll go ahead and go to break right now. Let y'all run up the likes, run up the comments in the chat. Let us know what you want to talk about, or else we're just going to flow with it. So we're going to hit the intermission, and we'll be right back.
This shit is elementary, I'd probably go to jail if I shoot at your identity and bounce to the left. Stuck a flag in my city, everybody screaming Compton. I should probably run for mayor when I'm done, to be honest. And I put that on my mama and my baby boo too. 20 million walking out the car, better whoa whoa. Oh yeah, fuck the judge, I made it past 25, and now I was a little nappy-headed nigga with the world behind him. Life ain't shit but a fat vagina, screaming, Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Limo tenant with the gold plate, straight from the bottom. Mr. Belly of the beast, from a peasant to a prince to a motherfucking king. Oh yeah.
Let's go. I'm over here just vibing, dude. Every single time. Appreciate y'all being here. Wake up with Ray and Jay. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the content on the channel. Subscribe to DD Podcast Radio feed as well, and the Wake Up feed. If y'all can't make it, a lot of y'all, I can't make it live, Make sure you subscribe to the Wake Up feed. A lot of other content gets posted there, and the podcast radio feed. We got a lot of big plans this offseason. More Dynasty Theory, more Scott Connor, more Shane, more Ray G on the channel. It's coming, man. It is coming. And make sure you check out the 25 mock. Talked about that. Pittsburgh Steelers upgrading the wide receiver position in this one. Travis Hunter going number 1 overall, and the Giants getting their quarterback of the future in Shedeur Sanders. And then Brock Bowers, 101. Yeah, I'm in. Give Bowers over everybody. I don't give a damn, man. Brock Bowers over everybody.
We will revisit that conversation if you want. We can revisit it when you're back in on Malik Neighbors. I'm sure it won't take too long.
What do you think what is that going to look like? Let's just quickly. Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito starting. Yeah. No Daniel. Like, how do you think this is realistically going to play out for the Giants at the end of the year? And what's the perception going to be of Malik Neighbors as we get through the rest of this? I'm not talking about once they draft a new quarterback, but there's going to be a period where people are like, what's this going to look like next year? I don't know if Dayball is going to be there, who the hell the quarterback is going to. How does this play out for Malik? And let me ask you a wild question. Knowing that Marv is going to still have Kyler Murray next year, would you use this opportunity to try to move out of Neighbors into a Marv to avoid the uncertainty of the QB situation next year? Or are you still like, nah, I'm good. Give me Malik Neighbors. I don't want Marv. I don't give a damn who the quarterback is going to be for New York in 25.
So I think that initially coming into the season, I was on Marv over Neighbors for that exact reason, the quarterback. And I think that Malik proved that it's not going to matter who the quarterback is. People are going to be in, and the value is probably going to stay where it's at. So at this point now, I think he's in Garrett Wilson land. And, you know, we've talked about this parallel a lot as to what is Malik Neighbors, where does his value go? And I think he is basically in that Garrett Wilson paradox. He's a top 10 receiver without a quarterback. If he has a quarterback or he's playing well, people are going to want him. When he's not playing well or his quarterback isn't good, I don't think his value is going to tank, but it will go down a little bit. So the question of Marv versus Malik is very tough because I'm not selling if I have him now or I've had him all season because I've already found money in where I drafted him versus where his value is now, right? So while his value could go down a little bit, it's probably not dropping down to like wide receiver 14, 15 where he was to start the season. And so I'd probably be just hoping that the quarterback position gets better because everyone hates Daniel Jones. Everyone hates Tommy DeVito. I think just about anybody outside of a really bad OC or coach could ignite some semblance of life into this offense, into his value. Will it actually return fantasy points? That's a different conversation. But even if they draft Jalen Milroe, I think there will be some excitement as to what Milroe and Malik could be to keep his value in the right spot.
Yeah, and you saw Daniel Perry's chat said he's going to be peppered with targets. Like they're just going to throw him the ball.
That's the hope, right?
Over and over and over again. Just wanted to throw that out there, man. Got a couple of dope questions right here. Jake has got one about Travis Hunter. Jake says 2025 draft. Travis Hunter says he is playing 2 ways in the NFL. How real is this? In which way is potentially his primary? In the mock that I dropped, Jay, let's just say hypothetically he does go number 1 overall to Jacksonville. You know why I think that'd be a great spot for him to play both ways? If there is a new coach, they draft Hunter at 1, there's no need for him to be the 1 or the 2 or the 3rd receiver in that offense. You've got Brian Thomas Jr., you have Christian Kirk, there is Gabe Davis there. Not saying that Gabe Davis is this special talent, but you've got your 3 starting wide receivers plus your tight end and Evan Ingram. You put Travis Hunter as the starting cornerback next to Tyson Campbell. You've got 2 of the best young corners in the NFL. And then you can put him in sparingly on the offensive side without the pressure of him being the focal point like he would be in New England or these other places, because that would be BTJ. And the reason why I also think Jacksonville would be a dope spot for Hunter, think about the practices and sharpening iron between he and Brian Thomas Jr. each and every day in and out of practice. I actually think Jacksonville would make a lot of sense for him to play both offense and defense, with the primary spot being the cornerback spot.
Okay, and I do agree with you there, but I think the problem is all right, he's on Jacksonville, 1st overall. Where do you draft him in a rookie draft?
That is, I was thinking about that this morning, and I don't play in any IDP leagues, and I don't know how his offensive output would impact what that player would do for you in IDP. But I think
Corners
that
don't
is
score
where
very well anyways, right? Because they don't get a lot of tackles.
right. But I'm sure interceptions are very high. And then if he does get 20 receptions and 200 yards and 4 touchdowns on offense, again, I don't know how that would equate to 60 tackles and 4 sacks. I don't know the difference between that. But if his primary position is cornerback, then no, I'm not. I've moved him down a little bit in my rookie ranks. I've moved him down a little bit on the board because I am hearing more and more that the primary position is going to be corner. I don't think he's going to be able to play full time both ways at the next level. No. Kevin has one right here. Are the 2025 rookie wide receivers that much of a drop off, or is it just that the RBs are in the limelight? I think it's both. I don't think that the 25 wide receiver class is extremely. I think it's deep, but it's very top heavy with the guys that have those, at least what we believe to be elite outcome ranges. Ted McMillan, Hunter, if he were there full time, Burden, Egbuka, Trey Harris. Like if I were being very honest, Jay, like just remove the hopium and you're like, you got one bullet, right? This is all you get. Who is the elite receiver in 2025, right?
Going.
Last year, there were arguments that it could have been 3 guys. People were saying Neighbors over everybody, Marv over everybody, and then you had a strong subset of people who said Rome Odunze is the one that I want. He is the what was the narrative about Odunze? Daniel Jeremiah said, I've never seen a player that was as bust proof as Rome Odunze. Like he had him over all the guys as bust proof. I think it's Tedero and McMillan, man. Like it would be, if I had one shot at a receiver, it'd be Ted McMillan and I'd enlist. That is the blue chip wide receiver. I think Trey Harris and Emeka and Burden and all those other guys are good players, but there's one like guy that I look at today, like that is from day one, whatever offense he lands on outside of Dallas should be the primary target earner. How do you feel?
Yeah, I think for me, it's a mix of pedigree and just overall talent. Like Tet, playing in the Pac-12, he doesn't get the shine that he would if he was if he was Luther Burden and doing what he's doing as Luther Burden at Mizzou, he would get way more shine than he gets even right now. And I think that's where you look to some of the players who were highly touted, like Evan Stewart's a big one who should have been in a top receiver in this class, and it never really worked out for him. Your boy Tez Johnson, who you love a lot. I just don't think the top end talent is really there. And when Emeka Egbuka is your wide receiver 3, 4, and he would have been, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 at least last draft.
No.
But the crazy thing is that he should have come out probably, but he chose to stay. And he'll probably benefit from it, but he was like a 2nd rounder, maybe a 3rd rounder last year. That's why he didn't come out. And that was probably the biggest surprise of draft season last year, was that he didn't come out. But I think when you're looking at it from a talent perspective, it just doesn't seem like the high-end talent is there this year. But I do believe, though, that once we see the whole draft process, some guys may propel themselves to be relevant, because we have seen that happen. And, no one's saying that Ladd McConkey last year, until we saw the whole process, is deserving of that 2nd round pick.
That didn't start till like March for Ladd. It did not start until Senior Bowl, March time.
And I think you talk about like Jaden Reed, Rashee Rice was kind of a guy we thought could be good, but we weren't so sure until we kind of saw the combine.
That's who Emeka reminds me of. He is, I think he's a spitting image of Rashee Rice at the next level. This power jumbo slot that can play on the outside. That is who he reminds me of. All right, Luke has got one for us. NFL, bye weeks. With all the bye weeks this week, how desperately are you trying to make trades for starts as a mid-playoff seed team? How desperate, how aggressive are you right now? You're not the top contending team in your league. You're not the top, but you're not the bottom. And you got a shot, right? But you are decimated. Buys, injuries. Like, how aggressive are you going into week 12, Jay, personally?
That's really tough, because for me, I'm honestly usually most aggressive on my best teams, right? So if I'm already like pretty ahead, I want to maintain that lead and continue to push and add to that depth. When I don't have that, or I'm unsure, and then I'm going into a situation where I have a ton of bye weeks, I may just kind of see how that week plays out, because I've already, if I'm not accounting for this in the preseason or early in the year, I've already failed, right? Like, you don't play for the bye weeks or facilitate that. But you have to have some
I get what you're
semblance of
saying.
when you're going to have that hellish bye week. And I think if you're not prepared for that, you just got to ride it out because you've already benefited from all the other weeks that you didn't have this bye week. So you should have probably accounted for a loss this week already. And if you can stomach that, then I think you're fine. But if not, I'm probably not pushing it all in if I'm really in the middle right now.
I'm with you. Like the strong contending teams, I want to see how I could solidify them even more. How do I make this even tighter? How do I make this even stronger? A mid-playoff seed, I think the operative word in this question is desperate. I'm not desperately trying to find starts this week. Not desperately trying. I'm not trading first-round picks. I'm not moving second-round picks. If I can move off of some fodder, maybe somebody was injured and I can get a spot start, cool. But I am not desperately, as a mid-team, trying to make that happen, Jay. We did get a super chat from Jimbo. Shout out to our dog, Jimbo. Trade CD for JMO and Tracy in redraft. Yeah. Yes.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
In redraft? Dude,
I don't hate it.
It's only a matter of time before we're about to get to shutdown season, JRich. You know what that is? Once the teams are mathematically eliminated, those stars are just, that hammy just might not heal up as good. Think CeeDee Lamb wants to catch those Trey Lance passes? Think he wants to go out there and do that? In redraft, I don't give a damn. See you later, CeeDee Lamb. Give me J-Mo. Give me Tyrone Tracy, and let me try to get it. I would be fine with that. Jay, you good with that?
Yeah, so I did want to point out that he has the Bucs this week. Then he's at
Didn't
Dallas,
you just say
which we know is
playing?
fantasy heaven. No. Tracy. Tracy's got the Bucs. Then he's got at Dallas. Then he has versus the Saints. So 3 very good matchups in a row. You do have to deal with the Ravens, but it's a pretty good schedule for him as it stands right now. And then he's going to miss the Eagles because that's a Week 18 game. So I really like Tracy's schedule. And there was a report this week from Giants beat reporters that he's going to be heavily involved this week against the Bucs. So you could see a lot of Tracy carries this game.
I like him. I like Tyrone for what he is, Jay. Let me change my audio. I got you coming out my speakers. So it says you've got the echo chamber. So it must be coming out of me. You take this question and then I'll switch the audio and see how that works. Here's one right here, Jay. Go ahead and read this one from Greg and see what we can do.
All right, so Greg says, I have a rebuilding team with 325 first. Need to rebuild my entire RB room, and this RB class looks dope. Hopefully, we'll be able to pull off some trades as well to get some veteran assets. Is there a question in there, Ray? Or let's turn this into a question. If you had, let's say, an early first, a mid first, and a late first, who would your 3 RB targets be in those spots? I assume Genty would be near the top, potentially. Let's say it's super flex, though. So if you do want to go RB, you have to make a big decision to probably forego a Cam Ward or a Shedeur Sanders. Let's say you have the 102, the 107, and the 111. So you will have to choose Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Jalen Milroe, and pass on those guys for RB. What would you do if you had 102, 107, and 111 in this coming rookie class?
I mean, right now, I just want the running backs, man. Like, I would want Genty and Tet. Those would be 1 and 2. I think even in Superflex right now today, it's Genty and Tet. It's Genty and Tet. Okay, they say it's better. No more echo. There we go. Genty and Tet would be 1 and 2. Unless something happens. We're knocking on wood, right? We're knocking on wood.
You are going to revert so fast when Shedeur gets drafted. Just be honest. Just say that Shedeur is your one. Just say it.
He's not.
Just say it.
He's not.
Well,
you think I'm a reverse course? You think I'm going to reverse? I'm not going to do it. I will commit to you.
Yourself.
I am promising you the 1 and the 2, not the 3 and the 4, are Ashton Genty and Tet McMillan. I don't care where Shedeur gets drafted. I don't care what team drafts.
He needs to go to Dallas now.
It's Tet. You think I'm not going to walk.
If Dallas drafts Shedeur Sanders, he is 100% the 101. You just need to say that to the people.
No.
Every other team, maybe not. But if he goes to Dallas, he's the 101.
No. It's Tet and Genty, period. Full stop. Tet and Genty.
I'm with you on everyone else, though.
What'd you say?
Where are you at? Where are you at on QB2 right now? Or do you have any semblance of QB2? Because I'm not a big Cam Ward guy. I'm not into the 5-year starter who's been all around everywhere. People like him. There's some talent there. But I'm not a big Cam Ward guy, especially, 102, 103, unless he gets a really good draft slot. But where he's projected to go, top 10, those slots don't really exist. But where are you at on QB2? And then some RBs lower down the board to answer that question.
People are bookmarking it.
Oh, yeah.
Luke says 1,000,000%. I'm gonna backtrack this. Sean says he will be. Stop. I'm not. I am committed to y'all. Y'all know me. When do I lie to you? I don't lie. I don't tell lies, JRich.
But
not
we
often.
revisit the tapes and we update with new information, and that's okay. I'm trying to get ahead of this. That's all.
Here's my Cam Ward is the QB2. He's the QB2 to me. I like his talent. He's got all the arm talent. He's mobile enough to make the throws. Yeah. I think he's the QB2. The bigger question is, will there be another one drafted in round 1? Will Quinn Ewers declare? The bigger question is who declares for QB3. It's Jackson Dart, probably Jackson Dart. Yeah. I don't know if Quinn comes out. I don't think Milroe.
I don't think Quinn comes out. He's going to have to transfer, but I don't think he comes out.
I don't think he comes out either, Jay. And,
and Milroe's the other one, right? Yeah. We're kind of leaning on him staying potentially too.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. I think Ward is good, but I'm not as in as everybody else. He is quite reckless with the football when you watch him play. I mean, Miami, they had been begging for a loss for weeks before they went down to Georgia Tech. So, Cam Ward. And then I do think the situation is really going to matter. Like I think the cool thing about former NFL players turning analysts is you get more authentic and real conversation for what's going on behind the scenes and how we think we sit back here from our homes, Jay, and we talk about should the coach see this or how the players see it. And they're becoming more vocal about the shit that goes on behind the scenes. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know about I don't know. The coaching matters. Coaching really, really matters. So depending on where Ward and Shedeur land, I think that's going to impact both of those players, Jay. I think it impacts both of those players.
Yeah,
all right,
absolutely.
Where do we go? What else do we have? Just quickly, does Bo Nix change the way we look at QBs that stay in college longer? Does that help Ward? I definitely think experience does matter to a degree. I think being in there, having the live reps, it absolutely matters. To what degree, we'll see. But I do not, let me tell you what I don't think will have happen again. I do not think in the immediate future, the next 5 to 10 years, Jay, I do not believe we will see an Anthony Richardson type situation play out again.
Yeah.
I do not believe a team will draft a quarterback that inexperienced, that high again. I do not believe that will happen. I do not think we will see that. He was a one-of-one type bet, a one-of-one type player to make that chance for. And I don't think teams are willing to take a 50% completion percentage passer for 1 year of college in the top 5. I don't think we'll see that again, man. I don't think we'll see that again. All right, Jay, what else do we have? Better for Shedeur in New York or Las Vegas?
If he has Dable, I would say New York.
Okay.
Without Dable, I'm kind of...
Ethan says, let's just be honest, this is a bad QB class. I just don't subscribe to that notion. How good was the 23 class? How good is that QB class?
Yeah.
How good was the 22 class? Awful. How good was 21? Awful. How good 2020 was good? How good does 24 look? Like, we think it's pretty good, but it's situation, man. These dudes could throw the fucking ball. Like, they can. Are you in the right spot that's conducive for offensive success? And do you have the work ethic? Are they going to put in the time? You look across the NFL right now, people thought Jared Goff was a bum. Literally. When he got traded from the Rams to Detroit, people were like, it's a wrap. Bum. Now you're talking about him as the MVP. Baker Mayfield, journeyman quarterback from Cleveland to the Rams, the Panthers. Now he's the starting quarterback for Tampa Bay. Geno Smith was a bum when he was a second-round pick drafted by the Jets. Now he's the locked and loaded starter for Seattle. So, bad Q. I think that, to me, that's a tired, lazy narrative for people who don't. It's just a tired, lazy narrative. It's a class of names where you're not familiar with the names because we've had those guys cycle out, but to say it's just bad, how good have the last 5 been when you look at that? So I don't subscribe. You don't know what class is good or bad until 2-3 years down the line. You don't. What situations are available? Where do they land? How does the offense cater and people thought Bo Nix was an awful pick, and you look back right now, and there might not be another quarterback outside of Jaden you'd want from 24 opposed to Bo Nix right now if you're being objective. The situation, the talent around him, how they're going to build around him. I just don't subscribe to that, man. I don't subscribe to that notion, Jay.
Ray, I think the only thing that you didn't really hit on that I think a lot of people kind of notice, at least, is the lack of success in college football for some of these quarterbacks, right? Like when you're talking about Cade Klubnik as a top quarterback in a class, and he's done nothing, right? And you look to last class, and the reason why I bring this up, you do have Bo Nix, who, had varying success in the SEC and obviously was very successful at Oregon. You have Caleb Williams, who had a Heisman Trophy. Jaden Daniels, Heisman Trophy, right? Like all these players saw high levels of success in college, and so you can kind of see how it can translate to the NFL level. Whether people believed or not is a different conversation, but seeing Penix play in the national championship game, Caleb Williams win Heisman, Jaden Daniels win Heisman's, playing great in the SEC, Bo Nix playing great in the Big Ten and Pac-12, like, I think last class was a deep class because of all of the players who stayed back and all went into the same draft class. We're probably not going to see that ever again, though. I don't think we ever see that again. But it was a very deep class.
Here's the comment I'm going to just drop, and just remember I said it now. If you think it's bad in 25, hold on to your butts. Hold on to your butts for 26 and 27. Just hold tight. Let's go. Herbert and Stroud rookie seasons have ruined rookie QB expectations. Yes, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't forget about Baker Mayfield's rookie season, right?
I remember, man, shout out to Matt Kelly. Shout out to my dog, Matt Kelly, player profiler, man. I show love on the show. It ain't no strife with OGQ and anybody, man. I remember DJ Moore's rookie year when Matt Kelly and Nate List, when they were rolling, Sonic Truth was the shit. That was the show, right? And I remember DJ Moore's rookie year, I think he finished with like 800 and something yards, Jay. It was like 800, and everybody was like, hell yeah. That's what I want. That's the look of a future dominant number 1 receiver. Man, you get a damn rookie wide receiver now, 700-800 yards. People think they're a bum. Oh man, no chance. Yeah. That ain't that good. I need 1,500 like Jefferson and Chase and Puka Nacua.
They ruined it, bro.
It's just they have ruined it. Herbert has ruined it. Stroud ruined it. And look at the volatility of Stroud and Herbert throughout from their rookie season, the massive boom and value spike that they had. And then you transition back to a couple of years later, and is Stroud really a top 5 quarterback? Herbert fell all the way outside of the top 10. It's just we don't know for multiple years. I think to that point, let's go back to the point real quick, Jay. This is a bad class. You know why that is important? It's not important on the merit if those players are good or bad right away. But the perception of those players going into the class will impact the value of those picks, right? If everybody keeps saying this and people keep thinking it's bad, then your 103 in normal years that would net you, $1,000 is only getting you $650 now. I think that is the important sort of takeaway about the class being bad. I got to go give a $32,000 check to somebody at the door. Hold on. Go ahead.
Well, also, what I'll say is that the other interesting part about this is, like, we talk about the value of quarterbacks all the time on this show. And the reason why it's so important to know what's coming with these classes is because you have all these veterans who are still capable, still performing well, and you can get them and are attainable right now. Whether you want a Geno Smith or a Baker Mayfield, like, these quarterbacks will be better than some of the quarterbacks that are coming in, and especially when the value and perceived value of all these players is already low, you can't possibly expect these players to outperform some of these guys out from the jump. So for me, and kind of the way that I approach Dynasty now, especially knowing that the classes aren't going to be good for the next few years, you want to make sure you don't just have QBs for now, but for a couple years as well, because there is no value coming in until these guys actually perform on the field. So if you're going to be waiting for that next big quarterback to come out, it's just probably not going to happen. And you need to have a plethora of options on your team right now because there just isn't an immediate impact coming in the short term.
Yes. Willpower. Is J.J. McCarthy better than any of the QBs in this class? Would you trade a 25-second for him in a heartbeat?
Absolutely.
If I can get
I'd trade a 25 first for him.
Yeah, I would have I would take J.J. McCarthy over all the quarterbacks in this class, yes. How about you, Jay?
Absolutely.
I would take him over every quarterback in this class.
Year of experience in probably one of the best situations in the league, one of the best teams in the league, one of the best coaches in the league. It's just easy.
Look at the weapons around
Hawk,
them.
Addison, Jefferson, and then whoever they have at running back. Don't care.
They got draft picks. Will, let me tell you right now, dude, if all he costs is a 25-second, pause this stream, go press accept, come back and smile. Yep. Yes, I would take J.J. McCarthy.
The entire chat should be spamming their seconds for J.J. McCarthy right now.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And then if I did that, you know what I wouldn't do? I wouldn't pick any of the quarter. If you want to hoard them, fine. But I would load the hell up on RBs, the elite receivers. And I'm telling you guys right now, the tight end position is going to be nice. You know what it makes me nervous for? Makes me nervous for my Jake Fergusons. It makes me nervous for those Cade Ottens, those Chig Okonkwo's, those fringe level starting tight ends. Tyler Warren and Mason Taylor and Harold Fannin and Colston Loveland and Luke, like these dudes are coming in and they're legit, man. They're big as shit. They're athletic. Like this is a great tight end class. The type of tight ends that can play with their hand in the dirt and split out and flex out on the outside. This is a really, really good tight end class. All right, what else we got? Oh man, a lot. Joe said a lot of people are sleeping on Loveland. Not over here.
See, do you think people are sleeping on Loveland? I feel like he's going to walk in to be like I wouldn't be shocked if he was a top 5 dynasty tight end by the time he gets drafted. At which point, like, is he even a value at that price tag, right? Because he still's got to compete with Hawk, Laporta, McBride, Bowers, Pitts, depending on how you like him, Kittle. And then, as you mentioned, there's other tight ends that are good as well. So
it's the pool. They're shooting gunite for everybody who's wondering. Old GQ's getting the pool installed in the back, so you know they gotta get that money early to get that done. It's gonna be a nice pool, Jay. We're gonna have you over here. We're gonna get in the hot tub with us. Salt water too, no chlorine.
Saltwater pool.
Saltwater
pool.
Man.
Living lavish at the GQ household.
Better for your skin. It's much better than the chemicals that are in the chlorine. So we got a little saltwater action going down back here. All right,
talking.
There we go. What do we have? Jimbo said, are we buying bricks? That's 17.5, man. 32. That's 17.5. I'll buy a lot of bricks for 32. What else we got, man? What else do we have? Ray, would you? Oh, whoa. Dustin, would you trade Zay and Ladd? Would you trade Zay and Ladd and a late second for Marvin Harrison Jr.? Hell no.
No way, man.
What? Where's the sound?
No way.
No, Dustin.
No way.
No.
What?
No.
No way.
No.
I like Marv, but no
Zay,
chance.
Ladd, and a late second for Marv? No. I'll keep Zay and Ladd. Ladd. Treating Penix like JJ?
Nope.
No.
Nope. No. No. Ray, do we see Penix this season?
No.
Probably not.
No, I don't think so.
Kirk's been kind of shaky though. Yeah,
how many Bowers are in this class? Zero. But Tyler Warren is damn close. I don't know if you've seen him, Jay. You know, I don't know how much.
I haven't watched much of him.
I don't know.
He's just like another Pat Farmer, though, isn't he?
No, sir.
Really? Okay.
Dude, just go pull up his numbers, rushing and receiving. Just go pull it. They use him. He's like the Deebo Samuel of collegiate players.
So what you're saying is he's Taysom Hill. I love it. I'm already in. 67 receptions, 808 yards, 5 touchdowns through the air. And let's see what I can find for the rushing.
I mean, they use him. They put him at goddamn quarterback, dude. They put
157 and 4 touchdowns, though.
That's what they put him at.
On 16 carries.
They line him up at QB. He's 6'6".
This is Laviska Shenault right here.
He's 6'6", 260, and he's back there carrying the read and running it in. He's AR5 out there.
This is basically Laviska Shenault.
And here's the thing. I saw 2 comps for him, right? Because he's white. He's a white tight end. He wears number 44 and he doesn't have any gloves on. They're like, it reminds me of Dallas Clark from the Colts. White.
That's a great comp.
I'm just like,
that's a great comp.
try. Just try
You know Dallas Clark is his
here, right?
favorite player.
When I saw Dallas Clark, I'm like, of all the tight ends, white number 44, no glove. He reminds me of Dallas Clark. Get the hell out of here.
6'6", 260, man.
He's huge.
Recruited as a QB. There you go.
He was recruited as a QB, honestly?
That's what someone said. Jason said that.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, that makes sense. All right, what else do we have in the chat? Oof, Liam. All right. I just spent a 26 mid to late first for Olave. I believe he's going to break out next year with better QB play / OC play. Let me know what you think.
I don't mind the price, but the second half of that statement makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You could literally said the exact same thing this year. The exact same thing.
And we'll say the exact same thing
better QB play
next year and next year.
I think
trust the trendy. He is who he is.
He's good though. I like Olave.
He's a 12-point per game receiver. That's what Olave is. 12 to 14 points a game. That's what you're getting. He is a replaceable asset. Is the price fine? A mid to late 26 first right now is like the equivalent of like a mid second round pick this year. I'd take him for that. Like, that's fine. But I have the hopium and the beans are not being planted for Olave to have a breakout year in year 4 with, like, what new QB? Sam Darnold is going to be Derek Carr.
It's going to be Carr.
It's going to be
Carr.
Carr.
They're not getting a new QB.
They're not getting a new QB. They're not getting a new QB. So I'm fine with the price. I'm with you. You could have kept the second half of that statement because, I don't think. What else do we have? Laporta, Kincaid, Pitts. Yikes. The draft class is good. I think Loveland is still one. Joe. Damn it, Joe. I like Colston Loveland. Tyler Warren, Joe. Come on, baby. Tyler Warren. Dalton Schultz owners better watch out. Yes. Yes. All right. Here's one, Jay. You taking Higgins or Olave long term? This is easy for me.
Easy. See, it sounds easy, and I think the answer is Higgins.
It's Higgins.
Do you have any concerns of Higgins pulling a Galladay, though?
Yes.
I wouldn't say I'm at 0% on Higgins pulling a Galladay.
I didn't say that yes was without skepticism to some degree. I think both of the players, the concussion stuff, what I don't want to do is sit here and act like I'm a medical I have no clue how that stuff is going to impact anybody long term.
We saw it happen with Tua this year already.
I mean, Tua's been posturing, and he comes back, and he's playing right now. So I'm not going to say Olave's, but I'm good. I'm good on Olave. When Higgins plays, for the 6 games he's going to play a year, he's going to be damn good. In those 6 games, he's going to give you elite war outcome scoring production, and then after that, you're praying. Yes,
I like Higgins.
I think we all like Higgins. Who doesn't like T. Higgins?
Yeah.
Well,
I think especially the past few years, he's been very good.
I think everyone is just exhausted with having to play him and start him and figure out when and where. He's a great best ball asset where you don't ever have to think about it. Man, them Olave beans were potent this offseason. Yeah. But it's Higgins for me. Ooh, JRich.
That's a good point, actually.
What?
From a Quackadilly Blip? Did I say that right?
Let me see what
he's talking about. Brandon Cooks had a ton of concussions. Cooks did have a lot of concussions. A lot. And he's had some good seasons mixed in there. Now, again, the value is one thing. Success is the other thing.
Let's think about who he was catching balls from. Who was he catching passes from? Brandon Cooks.
Well, I mean, what started with, who was the first one? Was Drew Brees. Then Tom Brady. Then Jared Goff or Matthew Stafford. I think he was only in the Goff era. I don't think he played with Stafford.
Listen, man, that dude had some of the best throwing him the ball. Who we talking about? Olave? Talking about Derek Carr? You want to equate that to Cooks? You want to equate that to Brees? You want to compare that to Brady? We doing that?
You be disrespecting Derek Carr because he's making MVS look like goddamn Rashid Shaheed out there right now. That deep ball's working.
No. The answer is no. There was a good question that I had, man. There was a good one that I had lined up, and it is gone because I scrolled down to find that one. Here it is for you, JRich. Here it is. Corey Walters. Chuba or a 25 first?
Give me the first. I'll take another running back. If it's 109 or
Quinshawn Judkins or
definitely.
Chuba?
I would take Judkins, but I love Judkins. He's so good.
He lands on Houston in round 2 behind Mixon.
That's fine. I'm cool with it. You probably want Chuba, but again, if I'm stuck with him on Houston and I'm drafting him blind at 109, I'm cool with it. Houston's a good landing spot. He may not play, but that's the risk you run. Okay. When he does play, he's probably getting 20 carries a game, which is pretty nice.
Quackadilly, 1,000 yards is 1,000 yards, no matter who's throwing the ball. And let me tell you the real reality of 1,000 yards in fantasy football. It doesn't mean shit. Like, it doesn't. A 1,000-yard receiver in fantasy football, again, is scoring you between 11 and 13 fantasy points per game. That ain't it. 1,100 yards ain't moving the needle. You are wide receiver 29 with 1,000 yards. If you're not scoring a shit ton of touchdowns,
not scoring touchdowns, and you don't get a lot of volume either. That's like why Jameson Williams is never going to be a high fantasy asset. You can have 1,000 yards.
1,000 yards,
but it'll be on 60 receptions. You're just praying he gets 8 touchdowns.
Yeah, you're praying they get the touchdowns. 1,000 yards it still doesn't equate to any kind of game-changing fantasy scoring. It does not. It does not. Where are we at? Buy low now on Jonathan Brooks.
Sure. What's the price? A second?
I don't know. Everyone keeps Chuba or Brooks. Keep one for the next 2 years. I think it's both.
I'm fine with keeping Chuba.
It's both. I think they just. I don't know what are we.
Ray, you upset?
Did they not just pay him? Like, what are we doing? He could be behind Brooks now. What are we doing?
It's like the classic. Do you want Montgomery or do you want Gibbs?
I wouldn't
say Brooks is Gibbs though. That's where I'm leaning Chuba. Right?
The answer's both, man. Like, over the next 2 years.
But pick one though, not both. Both is the cop-out answer.
Chuba Hubbard.
Yes, it's Chuba because he's the primary rusher, and that's who you want.
Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
What else do we have? Anybody that has Brooks isn't selling low. They have waited this long. I'd send a second for him. Buy low on Justin Brooks, he means. They paid Miles too. Brooks buy low was week 1. He's healthy now. Why would buy low window be now? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just reading what's in the chat. All right, we got a few more before we get out of here. Jay, I got bread. Shout out to I got bread. Shout out to the GOAT members of the DD Fantasy Football community. This tight end class doesn't have a Bowers, but I think some of these guys coming in can shake some stuff up in the pros. 100%. I agree. J-Mo in a second or Marvin Harrison Jr.? I'm taking Marv. Yeah, I'm taking Marv.
Easily.
I am
I'm
taking.
not messing with J-Mo, man. Just not doing it.
And then Weeze has to be dirty today and says, Warren snapped the ball and caught a 50-yard touchdown on the same play against your Trojans. That is JRich. That is very true. He did snap the ball and caught a 50-yard touchdown. All right. What else do we have before we get out of here? The white cornerbacks and wide receivers are making a comeback.
Damn right they are.
They're breaking barriers.
Lots of exciting whites.
There is no comeback. Well, I guess comeback from like when football first started. But yes, they are breaking down barriers out there, locking up defensive backs. You got, what is the Philly white DBs? What do they call themselves? Exciting whites.
The exciting whites, yeah. Reed Blankenship and Cooper DeJean.
Reed Blankenship. Yeah, they are. And who else? The wide receivers. Wide receivers have always been
big
good.
lad. We've always been talking about lads, so.
Yeah, there's been plenty. Steve Largent, Chris Collinsworth. Ooh. Come on, baby.
Brandon Stokely, baby. Let's go.
Brandon Stokely, Wes Welker. Name 5 more, JRich, for $100. 5 more. 5 more. Cooper Kupp.
I mean, I could go Amendola, Edelman, Wes Welker, Stokely. I'm trying to think of the one from Miami right now. Who's the wide receiver from Miami?
Ryan Miller?
No. Oh, Scotty Miller, though. Thank you, Ray.
Scotty Miller.
And then who's another one?
We'll
go with Alec Pierce. Mr. Antoine
McCaffrey?
Pierce.
Come on, man. Easy,
Ed McCaffrey, yeah.
Yeah, there ain't no comeback. Wide receivers have been in play, man. Been in play. All right, what else do we have before we get out of here? Do you think the Falcons took Penix because they knew there wasn't much QB talent in 25 or 26?
Yes. That's basically what they said, right?
That's
what
they
said.
That's a good point there. That's
Braxton Berrios is another great one.
Braxton Berrios, yeah. That's a good point.
I swear that's basically what they said, right? Like at the press conference, when there's a talent this good, you can't pass up on this player, insinuating that there is no talent down the line. We have Kirk, but there is no talent that is coming in the next few years. And if you realize that, yes, you do have to make what seems like a stupid pick.
People have Penix over JJ. Ryan Brolo.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's crazy.
Ridiculous.
I think that's crazy too. But why do you think that's crazy? Why do you think that's crazy?
Because JJ from the entire draft class was the player that I thought probably wouldn't fail. Not necessarily as a fantasy asset, but as an NFL quarterback, because he played in a pro-style system. And now playing for Minnesota, he's going to take all of the things that he did at Michigan and translate it to a similar pro-style type of system that he should thrive in. And he'll also have the redshirt year, which should be great for his mental side of things. It's just, can it all connect on the field? And while I like Penix, I don't see it necessarily happening that fast. He could be great, but we'll see. I still think I like JJ a lot more from what we've seen so far. And I think his path to relevancy, both in the draft and college, is much better than we saw from Penix overall.
Yeah, I would take JJ McCarthy over Penix as well. And then we've got more. How do we forget Jordy Nelson? Come on,
I know,
man.
That's on me, man. I'm a big Jordy Nelson guy.
That is
big.
Egregious. Jordy Nelson, freaking man.
What a baller.
He was very good. And then we got some Don Beebe, River Craycraft in the building. Let's go.
River Craycraft. Let's
Eric
go.
Decker. Eric Decker.
Oh, Eric Decker was awesome.
Denver is the land of white wide receivers, man. You go to Denver. Let me think about this class. Are there any in this class? You got Jack Besh out there and out of TCU. I don't know if he's full Caucasian, but he's the pigment is much like.
Is he Klay Thompson?
I think he's
He's just another Klay Thompson, eh?
It might be.
Lad's got kind of shades of Klay Thompson too. I mean, his name is Lad McConkey, but he's got some. We stood next to Lad.
100%, man.
He can't be.
Somebody was dipping in the Kool-Aid down some lineages ago for Lad. And even when we talked to him, he had a little Ladarius in him. Just there was a smidge of Ladarius.
He didn't even name Cooper Kupp.
Come on, man. Roddy White. Roddy White was black.
Yeah, but his name's White. Come on, Ray.
Pearsall. All right. Tim DeWhite.
Oh yeah,
Jared
Slick Rick.
Now it is Joe Jaravicious, Jeff Janis. Hit the music, man. What are we? Wayne Corbett, Kevin Curtis, Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen, huge.
I mean,
big receiver there.
Man, we got to call out the big
Cole
guns.
Beasley. Forgot about Cole Beasley.
Come on, man.
Baller.
Come on, man. Come on.
Baller.
Appreciate everybody being in the chat. I don't know how it got this off the rails, because all that people want to do in the chat now is comment on the white wide receivers in the NFL. Hunter Renfrow. How did we forget? Hunter Renfrow? Tim DeWhite. Get the hell out of here, man.
Justin Watson isn't white. He can't be white.
Who? Justin Watson?
Justin Watson. Oh, Jay Kumaro. What a name.
Jay Kumaro. Let's
go,
Richie.
Brian
Finneran.
Wow.
You remember Brian Finneran from the Titans?
I ain't that old.
You ain't that old? You ain't that old?
I ain't that old.
Okay. All right. Hit us with the
super
outro,
chat?
Jay. Hit us with the outro. We're not going to do this again.
Did you check super chats?
Did I check super? We got another one? Okay, my bad.
Jimbo saying we forgot a super chat.
Oh, Stanley, I got you, Stanley.
Oh.
Cade Klubnik, why the hate? I actually gave him a little bit of love.
Because he stinks, man.
No, man. I gave Cade Klubnik love on the some show that I did. He's playing really good this year. I don't think he's going to declare.
He's better, but I'm not.
Cade Klubnik is playing good this year. I'm telling you, he's playing good this year. And then Jay Jackson. Shout out to Jay. Are you buying Chase Brown on a contender? If so, what's the max you're willing to pay? This is one of those. This is a player that I'm willing to fortify my championship roster with Chase Brown. The max?
The problem, Ray, is that if they lose one game, it's over. If they lose one game, it's over.
But Chase Brown ain't shutting it down. Chase Brown is trying to earn it. He's not. They're not shutting Chase Brown down. They're not.
Okay, but
they're not shutting
Burrow
Chase Brown
gets
down.
shut down, or Higgins gets shut down, or Chase gets shut down, that drastically impacts his upside. He
so
can
what
still
would you
get
pay?
the touches.
Okay, what would you pay for him?
So the question is a first for me. Second, I think you're more than fine.
No, you don't have to pay. could you pivot off? Would you pivot off of Brooks for him? Would you sell your Brooks for Chase Brown in the third?
Yeah,
I'd do that too. I would do that. I would pay a second for him in a heartbeat. I don't think you need a first for him. I don't think you need to pay a first for Chase Brown.
No, but if this is the max, right? If you can't get him for a second, then what do you do?
Add a third. 2 and a 3. 2 and a 3. 2 and a 3
I think the
should
question
get it.
is whether you'd pay a first if you really want him and you want to win. And I think the answer for me, unfortunately, is no.
Depends on how much the money is. Like if your team is really, if it's really like that, maybe late. Cause you got to think, if you win it, you're at the 112, right? You're at the 112 spot. So I don't really give a shit at that point. The 112, I mean, they're good players, but if I win the league, I don't care about missing out on the 112. It depends on the league. Man.
Yeah.
So, all right. Appreciate everybody being in. Hit that thumbs up button, like, comment, subscribe. I hope everybody enjoys football this weekend. College football, having a good time. Got a tournament this weekend, Jay. So I'll
let's go
back to baseball, man. Last tournament of the calendar year. Thank God. Y'all stay tapped into all the content that we have on the channel, and we'll see y'all bright and early on Monday morning. Wake y'all asses up with Ray and Jay. Have a good weekend. We out. Peace.